So Latin America is cool, great place to visit, a lot of beautiful women, a lot of feminine beautiful women, but at the end of the day, Latin America, all of it is basically one big red light district. At least according to a subscriber of mine, or I don't know if he's a subscriber of mine, but a guy who left a YouTube comment. He said, yeah, cool content, great content, but at the end of the day, Brazil, Colombia, Mexico, all of Latin America is all just one big red light district. And the question is he correct? That's what we're going to get into today. And the short answer is he is and he isn't, but let's break that down a bit further. So this is something I talked about in previous videos. As soon as you talk about women that are above about a 7 hop, so 7.5s, 8s, and certainly when you get to girls that are absolutely gorgeous like the 9s and 10s, girls that 99.99% of you have just never been with, girls that most of you guys have never really seen in person, unless you live in a big city like Miami, Los Angeles, or somewhere overseas, Medellin, Barranquilla, Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, something like that. I'm talking about these top beautiful girls, 99%, not 99, I'm exaggerating, call it somewhere between, depends on the area, 85 to 95% of them are pay to play. It is what it is. This is like what I said in other videos. You can walk, I can take you to Cincinnati, Ohio, Omaha, Nebraska, these cities where you would swear to God, there's not a single in shape, attractive woman. Mexico City, you'd say, dude, there is not one fit and attractive girl in Mexico City. They just don't have them here. Nebraska, they don't have them here. As soon as you go to a sugar daddy website, as soon as you go to an escort website, as soon as you go to a strip club, there they are, there they were the whole time. And to put it on Latin America and say, oh, well, Latin America is one big red light district. It's just kind of unfair to Latin America, because the truth is Canada, all over Europe, certainly United States. Bro, you guys think that like on my friend's show, the podcast Fresh and Fit podcast, that they specifically, they just look for OnlyFans girls, and that's just a representation of Miami girls, and most girls don't act that way, and not an actual that high percentage of women are doing OnlyFans. Yes, they fucking are. You fucking idiot. I love it when guys leave in my comments, like, this guy doesn't get 9s. And like, I'll post a girl I used to date, Lana, or whatever, some girl I dated in Rio, or I'll do a vlog with some girl, some gorgeous Brazilian girl. I'll be like, yeah, me taking, a perfect 10 out on a date. They're like, she's not a 10, she's an 8.5. Like, okay, thank you for correcting me. And then, he's like, only I date 9s. This guy, it's like, bro, for you guys in the comments who are saying you get 9s, they're fucking 6.5s, okay? You guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm talking about, like, if you actually deal with beautiful women, you know what I'm talking about. It's like one of these things, like, if you know, you know. I mean, there's just certain dark truths. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but like some of my favorite ones are, let's just use a guy, height plays a lot into a man's weight, but let's take a guy who's about 5'10", 5'11". Did you know, another dark truth, quick side tangent, we're going to come back to topic, that 90% of guys who are about 5'10", and they're 100 and 175 pounds, and they're lean, like they have a six-pack, they're lean, they're 170 to 175 pounds. That is about the max you can get without steroids for 95% of men with genetics. When you go to the gym and you see guys that are, again, 5'10", and they're lean, and they're 180, 185, 200 pounds, those guys are on the juice. Those guys are on steroids. Actually, most guys at the gym that you see that look kind of good are on the juice. Another dark truth. Did you know that most rich people don't pay any taxes at all? The poor people pay taxes. Like, there's just all politicians, the only reason to get into politics is do insider trading, to make laws in your favor and accept bribes and invest in the proper companies that you're going to profit, do the laws you said. It's called insider trading. It's illegal, but politicians do it. The Pelosi's do it. This is like a known thing. These are dark truths, okay? Back to the topic at hand. Most beautiful women are paid for play, and to say that it's a bigger problem in Latin America is just false. Now, the problem is that very few people, men and women, actually step up in life. You can like Google these statistics, but like the average weight of the average American woman is 170 pounds. And people ask like, why are you a passport pro? Why did you go overseas? Bro, the average weight, that's bigger than me, bro. Like, dude, I'm not like that small of a guy, so you like make fun of myself like, oh, balding ginger with skinny arms. Well, I had a hair transplant, so I'm not balding, and my arms aren't like that skinny anymore. I'm 5'11". And you've seen I can bench press 250 pounds. I can squat 300 pounds. And these women, American women, they weigh more than I do, bro. And let's be honest, guys are mad pathetic here too. Myron Gaines and always talk about this. We can't hang out with normies anymore. Like every time I'm with Myron, I'm like, yeah, One of the bad things about meeting, a lot of foreigners overseas is that not a lot of these guys are red pilled, and most of them at the end of the day are just normies. And, for those of you guys who don't know what a normie is, I took some notes. So normies are guys who watch sports, guys who wear another man's jersey on his back, like they'll wear like a Kobe Bryant jersey on their back. Fucking lame. Get the fuck out of here. They don't work out. They don't approach women. They drink alcohol. They don't actively work on their social skills and realize how socially inept they are and how desperately they actually need to work on their social skills. They don't pursue wealth. They don't pursue any type of entrepreneurship or building wealth of any kind. They simp over women. They pay for OnlyFans. They're very effeminate. They're overweight. They dress like shit. They aren't red pill in general, and they date 2s and 3s. These are normies. I don't know what to even talk about with these guys, right? Like I run into them on the streets like, aren't you Casey Redbeard? Actually, my audience is a bit more, not normies, but anyway, we can't hang out with these people. And, I'm just making this point because it's not just women who don't step up in life. It's men too. I'm going to focus on women because that's the topic of the video. Is Latin America truly one big red light district or not? And that's what we're, the topic of the video. But we got to understand that men and women, neither of them step up. So why would a girl, a human being, but we're talking about women specifically now. I already talked about the men. Now it's time to talk about the women. Why would a girl, 99% of people don't want to step up in life. They don't have any ambition. They don't have any drive. Why would she want to roll up her sleeves and scrub food off of dishes? Why would she want to, I don't know, drive Uber and put herself, especially in Latin America, quite often maybe, dangerous situations, picking up, drunk guys alone in her car, or do any other type of hard work that pays like shit? They're going to take advantage of this, right? Like most women, this is what I talk about. Your goal as a life as a man in terms of long-term romantic pursuits, if you've come to that chapter in your life where you're looking for something long-term and stable, is to find a girl that's young, beautiful, submissive, follows your lead, and above all is one of the few girls that is not truly pay for play. Again, actually, I think in Latin America, you have a better chance of finding that you would in the States. So the guy who said, in my comments, Latam is just one big red light district. Well, he's probably one of those guys who goes to Medellin. If you go to Medellin, you're fucking retarded. 1 in 16 male tourists gets drugged and robbed when they go to Medellin, Colombia. So you fucking idiots need to just stop going there. Did you know that you could buy this thing called a globe on Amazon? It'll come in a big package. It's like a representation of this thing called Earth. It's not flat. It's actually round. Some of you idiots think it's round. And there are other countries and other cities besides Medellin. Did you know that? If you can get a passport and be a passport bro and look for feminine women overseas, it doesn't have to be Medellin, okay? So this guy who left that comment, right? He's probably a normie. Again, one of these people who drinks, doesn't work out, etc. Maybe he's not. But a lot of these things is if you don't live in the country, if you work and save up and you come in and you're a weekender, it's really hard to get a truly beautiful woman, especially when you're not going to small towns. I'm here in the Amazon rainforest. I'm here in Manaus. And we were at a mall, my buddy Austin Holloman, shout out to him. And I was telling my friends, oh, how's Manaus? I'm like, dude, it's one of the few places where you could be a fairly normal looking guy like me and cold approach women and actually get good responses from a high percentage of them. I'm the online guy. My strategy, we're talking about strategy later on, so stay tuned, is build automated online systems for meeting women using other people's time. We use automations, we use AI, multiple Tinder accounts going. We could be boosting Instagram posts, finding girls on Instagram that are not even on dating apps, girls with small private profiles, taking the best photos, touching them to make yourself look better, etc. And the weekenders who just go in there, they're looking for something new. They're looking for something that they can't experience in America. They have absolutely no strategy. They're a normie, and he's like, "Fuck it, while I'm here, I don't want to go home, empty-handed. I want to, fuck something hot and beautiful." Probably for most of these guys, the first time they've actually done this out of America. You pretty much have no hope. Again, if you're a normal guy, if you're one of these guys that, again, everyone on the internet's in the top 1%. Every one of you guys in the comments leaves a comment, I'm tall and I'm jacked and I'm rich and what you're saying doesn't apply to me. Okay, everyone on the internet, look, you all think you can fight. You're all rich. You're all tall. You're all good looking. You all stand up to people and don't take shit from people, and you're the pinnacle of man and masculinity online, okay? Step away from the keyboard. But these guys, these weekend warriors that go down there, who's probably, what this guy in the comment was leaving on, doesn't speak the language. He's going to all the tourist traps. He's walking around Parque Lleras area of Medellin, or he's even just going to Bangkok or Manila, and there's just a lot of competition there. Your last bastion of hope, again, if you're an average guy, if you're tall and good looking, this does not apply to you. If you're rich, this does not apply to you. But for the rest of you, your only bastion of hope is to go to like kind of like a small city. And these weekenders that go down there, again, they go down there, they're not going to leave empty-handed, so they end up, doing a little bit of pay for play, which again, if you're looking for advice and best places to go for sex tourism and, all this type of stuff, pay for play, you're on the wrong channel. I don't judge it, but I never, that's just something that like it's not discussed here. Do you? But it's not something I promote here, on this channel, and that's that. And again, the weekenders, the guys who come down here, and they're probably the ones saying, Latam's just a big red light district. Again, he's kind of right in the sense that a beautiful woman anywhere, Miami, Sao Paulo, Manila, somewhere in Africa, they're going to be looking for money because people don't want to step up. Again, what I encourage you to do is find the small percentage of women who did step up, and they're, any type of, they're an orthodontic school, or they're a lawyer. By the way, in Latin America, they just kind of like toss out law degrees. It's not like in the US where you actually have to like be really smart to be a lawyer. I don't think you have to be that smart in the US, but you get my point. Smarter. It's like a 2 or 3 year degree in many countries. And these weekenders who come down here, they don't understand before they get here the true struggle or difficulty that it takes to get like an actually attractive woman. It's one of these things where it's like, if everybody had the money and wanted a Lamborghini, they would just scale up operations and print more. Nice apartments. When they like say, oh, like we have this many people who want a nice apartment, you can build, it's called like supply and demand. You can build the supply to meet the demand. Beautiful women, they don't come out on an assembly line. Beautiful, feminine, submissive, well-behaved women with no tattoos, no children, under 25 years old. They don't print them out on an assembly line. Every guy wants one of these. Look, side tangent. Not even a side tangent. The guys that I see walking around the mall with their little 3 of a girlfriend, and the guy's like, a 3 also, or maybe the guy's like a 5, because usually in the United States, you get about 2 points below what you're at. If you're an 8, you get a 6. If you're a 7, you get a 5, etc. Maybe even 3 points less. It's a phenomena called a hypergamy, meaning women want to, do better than what they are. I don't know how either of them, how to say this. You're settling. Both of you on both sides know you're settling, and you know that you're not getting the best option you want. Like when I go out with a girl and we're kissing and making out and having sex, we're having sex and talking and connecting with the exact pretty much top level person that we want. Now listen, if I'm out, with an 8, and, does that mean like I wouldn't take a 10 if I could get it? Of course, like I guess I could be doing like a little better. I guess I'm settling for dating the 8.5 and not the perfect 10. But the point is, we're pretty much with our ideal person. A girl that's an 8.5 who's choosing to go out with me, hang out with me, have sex with me, can get literally anything she fucking wants. And again, this is what the weekenders who do pay for play don't understand. It's just, they just don't get it at all. It's outside of the reality of the difficulty. Like some guys will be like, oh, you've been in Brazil and Sao Paulo. I bet you must have quite the rotation down there. No, I don't have quite the rotation down there. Have you seen me? Have you seen the girls that I show on this channel, how beautiful they are? It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of investment. I have to do multiple dates. I have to talk to these girls online, do video calls with them, screen out. I'm screening out any girl with a lot of tattoos. I'm screening out any girl who has kids. I'm screening out any girl who posts their ass, shaking their ass, scandalous photos, things like that. Any girl that I see going to clubs a lot in their stories, I'm screening these girls out. No, I don't have it just shows like, oh, like I'll say to a guy who's like been, I don't know, doing Spanish classes for like, he knows no Spanish. He's been taking some classes, went to Mexico for 6 months. Oh, I bet you must be just perfect, with the Spanish after 6 months. Bro, it takes 4 to 5 years on average to learn a language really, really well, if you can even learn it at all. Most people never get true mastery over a language. But back to the topic at hand. It's really hard to get these beautiful women. Most of them are paid for play. And if you actually guys want to get them, we'll talk about a little bit of strategy now. But I'm not going to go, too deep into this. With anything in life, the better strategy you have for conquering a goal, the more likely you are to conquer that goal, right? So again, the language learning thing, right? Like if your strategy is just kind of like, oh, I'll just walk around and meet people and date some girls in Mexico, that's not a great strategy. You need formal classes, you need to read, you need to listen to audio material, download, podcasts whatever you can find in Spanish, and make flashcards and study those fucking flashcards, because that's the only way you're gonna actually like put new vocabulary in your brain, is if you're making active time to read, write down the words, or use an app to make, a flashcard of the words you don't know and study the flashcards. That is a good strategy. I'll just like wander around Mexico and chat to people in Spanish is a bad strategy for learning a language. These are the people that are 3, 4, 5 years into a country and they can like do nothing more than like order at a restaurant. A good strategy for dating could be a lot of things, right? I'll talk about a few of these things to kind of get like the creative juices flowing, but like if you moved a club promoter into your house, right? If you met some club promoters in your city and said, hey, bro, I don't know, like I got an apartment, near the club. There's an extra bedroom. I can move you in, bro, no problem. Just, bring girls by and introduce me to them. Boom. If you were meeting girls constantly through your club promoter roommate, that would be a great strategy. You could be the president of your fraternity, plan events with the sorority girls. You could be DJ at a club. But the most like universal strategy for meeting women in like modern times, 2024 and beyond, you're not going to go back to college and be the president of your frat. You're not going to, whatever else I said, these weird, you're not going to move a club promoter in with you. You want to build an online system. You want to get great photos, take a lot of photos, learn how to touch them up, learn how to make yourself look 10 to 30% better in photos in a believable way with filters, making yourself look buffer, a little bit of AI touch-ups, etc. You want to Luke's max as much as you can so you don't have to do that shit. You want to be maximum 16% body fat. At the fucking most, 16% body fat. You want to hit the gym so you can get a physique shot. And you want to then cultivate this, what I call high status social media profile, where you're having fun with friends. You're doing high value activities. You're traveling. Maybe you're on jet skis. You're giving a speech to a room full of people. You're doing a martial arts tournament. You're cooking dinner, this exotic food and showing off in your stories. Cool hobbies, cool friends, cool events, stuff like that. And then once you have this amazing, cool profile, it's like a resume, right? It's like a resume that says you worked at OpenAI and Google and lead developer at Microsoft, project manager. And then you send out that resume to companies and you get job offers. When you build the high status social media, you have a full-time automated system for getting that profile in front of women, whether it's ads, whether it's an online dating virtual assistant, where you have somebody swiping on apps for you, whether you're running multiple apps in multiple cities and multiple locations under multiple Instagrams and boosting posts and having them chat with the girls and schedule dates for you, like me. Sorry, that was all my breath. That is a good strategy. So again, to anybody who says, oh, Latin America is a big red light district, blah, 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 blah. It's probably a weekender. It's probably one of these guys who doesn't speak the language wherever he's at. It's probably a guy coming in for the weekend. It's probably a normie or just a guy who, listen, he's maybe not a normie. He maybe does speak the language, but he's unattractive. He's physically unattractive. He doesn't know how to have a good strategy like the shit I talked about. And he's just, he's paying for it because, and look, I can't blame the guy. I can't bash the guy. If I have just been fucking fat, grotesque American women my whole life, of course I'm going to want to go to, do a little pay for play when I'm in Latin America and actually get the hot girls that look like the girls that I, jerk off to on Corn when I go to pornography websites. You know what I mean? Like, that's that, you can't blame the guy. But to say like Latin America is one big red light district, again, anywhere in the world, most of the women are going to be, in some type of pay for play, especially when you go to big tourist. Look, if you go to Medellin or I don't know, like any capital city, I don't know, what's the capital or Sosa? There's some country or city in the DR. It's the cities you read about in the Passport Bro groups. It's the cities, the big cities. You go like away from those like touristy areas. You go away from, where all the other foreigners are. And again, you try your best to be an extraordinary man. You will find extraordinary women. You will find beautiful women in Latin America that are not selling it. Okay? Again, it just takes a good strategy. It takes being in shape. It helps if you have good genetics, if you're attractive, if you have good bone structure, good musculature, good hair, good height, etc. And then, of course, working on your confidence and your charisma and your ability to connect with people. And it's unfair to say Latin America is just one big red light district. I mean, it's fair to say that, but you should just say the world is one big red light district. To single out Latin America and say that it's occurring more than it's occurring in the United States is false. And that's the end of the video. Subscribe for more free Game Boys.